Okay, fam, here we go. Whee! Pumping out these videos, helping you guys get better at this game any way we can. It's your boy, War Daddy Chadsky here, hanging out on this beautiful day, and wanted to get you guys some information about some rallies and garrisons and equipment. I get asked this all the freaking time, and thought it would be great to put out a video about it. If you like the channel, please subscribe to it. Our subscriptions have gone through the roof, thousands, like crazy, and it doesn't cost you anything. It helps support the channel. I put Rise of Kingdoms content out all the time, stream all the time, play it at a very high level, and I'm very relatable to everybody. I love this community, and I love what we've built. If you want to join my Discord, the link is in the description. Come join those conversations there. I'm very active on my Discord, and my whole team of people. We are all very, very active and helping players get better in the game. It doesn't matter if you're free to play, mid spender, high spender. Doesn't matter if you're brand new to the game. We all love coming to help. That's the beauty with my channel, just so everybody understands, is that we all have a realization and we all have awareness that we started this game as noobs too. We started this game at the ground floor and we needed help. Everybody needed, no matter how long you've been playing this game, you started somewhere. And when you did, it's great to have a community that helps support you no matter what kind of questions you have, no matter how mundane they are. Come join my Discord and be a part of it. So today, let's get into it, y'all. We're going to talk about rallies and garrisons, okay? I run rallies like crazy. I run garrisons like crazy. I run infantry garrisons, infantry rallies, cavalry garrisons, cavalry rallies. And I know, and I've talked to and obviously been aware of the best archer garrisons and rallies in this game. And what I want to do is give you an idea about gear and about what we do. Because when you talk about gear, a lot of people say, hey, where does my gear need to be a rally or a garrison? Well, just let me let everybody in on a little secret. You can have one or two busted good archer rallies in your kingdom. They're not online all the time. Sometimes you need a backup. Sometimes you need other people who can put a rally on it and it's good enough to do what your kingdom needs it to do. And so it doesn't matter who you are, you can always work towards a rally or garrison set, okay? But sometimes it gets hard because you got to focus on that set, and all of a sudden you miss out on doing some field fighting and helping your other gear as you're doing more and more marches. You can't quite have enough sets to do more fielding, so you just got to be careful on how you want to do it and how it works, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about infantry, okay? Let's go into the infantry sets here. This is the infantry set, and something people have to understand on rallies and garrisons, the chest and the greaves are just a straight no-go. No way. Because you have attack stats here. You do not want attack stats for rallies and garrisons, okay? You're trying to trade the best. You're trying to send as few troops to die as possible in your kingdom while inflicting as much damage as possible. You stay away from attack. That's the number one thing on all three troop types, is you stay away from attack. That's not what you want to do. You have 2, 4, and 6 piece bonus sets for all three of infantry, cavalry, and archers that we will talk about and discuss, like how that works and what the value is there. And then you also have leadership set. Now, when we say stat swaps, when we say, hey, I've got a busted good infantry garrison, but I don't have the stat swaps, basically what that means is the swaps of stats. So for infantry and for, let's just say if you're an infantry player, okay, and you're running the Eternal Night Greaves, this is great, it gives you defense. However, if you want to be better, because health for infantry, especially for infantry, is better than defense, then you run a stat swap. Even though it's not as much stats, you would rather take the health than you would the defense, okay? So that's what we recommend when we talk about stat swaps, all right? The same thing can be true with archers. Archers, you're doing attack on your 6-piece set, okay? Well, you go swap stats, all of a sudden you're trading attack for health. That's a really good upgrade, even though it's less stats, okay? And the beauty of the leadership set is, much like infantry, it has its own set bonuses, okay? So it has the same 2-piece bonus as infantry, all right? So people have to understand how that works. So With cavalry, things stay pretty much the same. You don't do stat swaps because cavalry gives you so much health and so much defense with the gear by themselves. But for infantry and archers, you have the stat swap. So let's go into it. If you say, hey, Chadsky, I am trying to put an infantry garrison together. How do I do it? And what do I set up with? Well, here is a good goal. And we'll go ahead and start doing this for you. Okay, we're going to have a starter set. And of that starter set, okay, we're going to go with this right here. This is your straight starter set, okay? And what this does is it gives you defense on the helmet, okay? So this is not getting into KVK stuff. This is just straight starter stuff. We're going to keep ring and horn as a baseline. That will always stay baseline, okay? And we're going to do, because no matter what rally and garrison you run, you can run ring and horn and be just fine, okay? It doesn't matter if it's rally, counter rally, garrison, doesn't matter. So you work with the Eternal Set helmet, you work with the Hope Cloak, you work with the Eternal Set shield, which is quote-unquote the weapon, okay? You work with the gloves, you work with the Eternal Greaves that are not part of the set bonus, and then you work with the Shio's Return. Shios and the Greaves are very, very easy to attain. And let me kind of help explain that, okay? When you're in KVK, you have something called the Lost Canyon, all right? So here's Lost Canyon, okay? And you get these coins every day. They rack up. Well, in your shop, you can easily get Eternal Night fragments to make a set. Okay, you can get a complete blueprint of Eternal Night. You can get a complete blueprint of Shios. Okay, so it makes it very easy, even in the first KVK, to get infantry-based legendary equipment. Makes it very easy. So you go get that on Shios and Eternal Midnight Greaves. That's kind of what we want. So that's your starter set. This is what you want. Okay, what this does is it gives you these attributes right here. All right, you're going to have 26% attack. Ignore the 6.5, the red and the green on the side. But this is what it's going to give you. It's going to give you a ton of defense. That's the thing with infantry, is that is a ton of defense. All right, so you get 26% attack, 67% defense. And if you look at the bottom, it gives you an extra 3% defense for the two-piece set. That is what this does. And that's what you've got. Okay, so what do we want to upgrade to? Because that's a great set. Anybody, anywhere can run that, either as a backup in big Imperium kingdoms or big high A seeds with great rallies. You can run this as a backup, or you're going to be one of the rallies and garrisons in lower seeded KVKs, or if you're just starting out KVK 4. This is where you want to strive to, okay? Now, when you get into later KVKs, and you fight KVKs and you're able to get KVK equipment and you're able to say, what's the best set I want? The best set right here. This is what you want to do. And we will go, sorry about that. Your best set, we will start right here. Okay. So you're going to go from the set helmet to the KVK helmet. Okay. You're going to go from the set weapon, the shield, to the Hammer of the Sun and Moon, the KVK weapon, okay? And eventually, you're going to move your Eternal Gloves to the Sacred Grips. Sacred Grips gives you a 0.5% more defense, and if you just want the best of the best, that's what that is. And then what you do is you take off the Eternal Greaves and the Shio's Return boots, and you add the leadership, okay? This is why this is very important. When you add the leadership stuff, we're going to do what we call those stat swaps, okay? So if you look at the leadership boots, or if you look at the Shio's return boots, these are 8% defense, okay? The leadership boots give you 6% health, all right? So let's go back real quick and review that. Because when you look at this starter set, you have so much freaking defense. It is a ton. All right. And so let's switch that defense to health. Even though it's a lesser stat, we like the health better. Okay. And so here's what you've got. If you have this compared to this, I tell you what, we're also going to put our trusty arrow in here. That's what you want to do. You want to go, so get a nice picture of that. We want to go from our starter set to our best set. Here's the difference on the attributes. That's the difference that you get, okay? We can move our little arrow just here just a little bit, okay? And so when you see this, you're seeing that the best set is giving you 6.5% more attack. That comes from the Hammer of the Sun and Moon, the KVK weapon, okay? You're going to get 6.5 more percent attack. Now, you're going to lose 20.5% defense, all right? Well, you had 67%, which is insane for infantry players. It's almost too much, like you start getting diminishing returns. So you're going to trade the 20.5% defense for 18.5% health. That is beautiful for infantry players. That is so beautiful. You love that, okay? Because you don't have enough ways to get health on infantry, all right? And when you come down here to the bottom, the beauty with the glorious goddess, which is the leadership set, is you also get 3% defense if you have a two-piece, okay? Well, if you look at the two-piece, you've got the greaves and the boots. So you have a two-piece of the leadership, so it's kind of giving you some double return there. It not only gives you a ton of health, it also gives you that defense for 3%. So that is the best of the best. The best rallies and garrisons in the game run this stuff right here. The best in the game run this stuff right here on the right, okay? And so that's what you want to do, all right? So from there, let's talk about archers, shall we? Because we got the same kind of effect with archers, okay? So let me just kind of get this off there. So the starters for the archers is really simple. It's the Dragon's Breath set. It's easy, okay? And it's really, really freaking good, okay? To where I think from the starter set to the best set of infantry, there's a big upgrade because of the health. From on archers for the starter set to the best set, it's not as much of an upgrade as you think, but it's still better, okay? So it's the 6-piece set. That is very, very important. And let me kind of go through it with you real quick. When we get into these set pieces on the archers, the 6-piece set here, the greaves are attack. We do not like those, but we got to go with them. The gloves are attack, and the helmet is attack, okay? So those are the 3-piece glove, or the helmet, gloves, and the greaves, okay? The weapon is defense, the chest is health, and the boots are defense, okay? So this makes it a little bit interesting, all right? Now, what they have on the Dragon's Breath set is that they have a 6-piece bonus of archer health. That is so massive. That's why it works, okay? And so you get troop attack at 2-piece, you get skill damage at 4-piece, and all archers are skill damage commanders except for CY now, and that's why this is changing. And then 6-piece is archer health. So for your simple starter set for archers, this is what you want, okay? That's what you want, and that's what it gives you. 39% archer attack, 36% archer defense, 14.5% archer health. Then you add 3% attack at the bottom, 3% skill damage, and 5% health. That is really, really good. That's what you want to do for your archer set. Now, you can go take that, and even players today still run that. Even the best players still run it. So you can still run that set as a meta set. However, it can be better, okay? So let's come over here and let's look at our archers. Oop, hold on. On our best set, there's your archer best set, okay? So get a nice, good picture of that. All right, we're going to do what's called a 2, 2, and 2. We're going to have the KVK helmet, the KVK weapon, okay? The Hydra Blast is the KVK weapon. It's awesome. Then we're going to have the Dragon's Breath chest plate because it's health. And then we're going to have the Dragon's Breath boots because it's defense. And then we're going to roll in the leadership gloves and leadership greaves, okay? So what that does, as we talked about for the starter set, those are your stats. Well, what the best set does is this is what it does to your stats, okay? It's going to drop your archer attack in half. You were at 39%, now you're at 19.5%, okay? It's going to raise your defense 14.5%. That's great for archers. It's going to raise your health 10.5%. from the gear alone. However, you miss out on the 5% archer health of the 6-piece set for the Dragon's Breath. On the left, at the very bottom, you see that 5%. So you're only gaining 5.5% health. But between the 14.5% defense and the 17.5% health you get out of archers on the best set, it does better. It does much better. Okay, and then you have two different two-piece sets. You have a 3% attack from the Dragon's Breath, just like on the left, but then you have the two-piece Glorious Goddess set from the leadership that gives you a little bit of extra defense. So now that defense goes to 17.5. So essentially what you're doing is you're trading 5% health in the bottom left for 3% defense on the bottom right, and you're missing out on that skill damage of 3%. However, you're increasing your overall defense by 17.5%, and you're increasing your overall health by 5.5%. That's why that works. So get a good picture of it, because this is what it looks like here. This is what it looks like here. You want to take your starter set and you want to go to your best set. It's very important to add those leadership pieces if you want to be the best of the best. Okay, so that's what you get there. That's what you get on the stats. Very easy to follow and understand. Okay, so now we're going to go to cavalry. Y'all got that? So here's what we're going to do with cavalry. We'll go over here. We'll take off the best stuff, and then we're going to talk about the cavalry starter set. This is really, really easy for the cavalry because you don't have to jack with the leadership stuff on the cavalry, okay? The cavalry gives you so much health. This is why we always say that defense for cavalry is almost as good as health. It's because you have so much health coming from cavalry, okay? Now, the weapon is always going to be attack. You just got to understand that. The helmet gives you defense. That is great. Now, here's where it gets kind of crazy. The chest piece gives you health, all right? The boots give you health. And then as far as the gloves and the greaves go, you always stay away from these greaves. You never want to forge these greaves, okay? But what it gives you instead is this guy right here, Ash of the Dawn, 12% cavalry health. Holy jeez, give it to me, okay? Everybody's got to get as many prints as this as possible. I'm still getting prints today. I'm running 3 cav sets, and I'm tearing up all my stuff, all right? And so with that being said, that's what you got to remember on cavalry greaves, okay? So for the gloves, same thing. You get defense on the set piece, but you've got this little thing called Navarre's Control. You can get this in a lot of different ways, okay? But the cavalry health there is absolutely amazing. So when you look at this on your starter set for cavalry, okay, that's what you want to run. You're going to get the defense from the Hellish helmet. You're going to get the health from the Hellish chest piece. You're going to get the attack from the Hellish Spear, which is the weapon. Ash of the Dawn is the greaves. You're going to get the health from that. Navarre's Control is the gloves. You're going to get the health from that. And then the boots are going to give you the health. So you run the health up so much. I mean, look at this. You got 26% attack. You got 14.5% defense. You have 51% health. Okay. And then you also have the 4-piece at the bottom. It gives you extra health for the 2-piece set, and then it gives you 3% counter damage because you have the 4-piece set, okay? So that gear right there is easy cheesy for cavalry mains. Let me move this out of the way. So there's your starter set for cavalry mains. If you want to be a cavalry rally and you've got this set, you get it all critted, you can easily become a cavalry rally. Easily, okay? So let's move on to what the best is for the cavalry. Okay, so the best for cavalry is going to look just like this. All right, you don't have to substitute leadership, but basically what you're doing is you're substituting the KVK helmet and the KVK weapon. This is the Khan's helmet, and then this is a Sacred Dominion weapon. You're substituting the KVK helmet and weapon for the Hellish helmet and spear, okay? And nowadays, and the reason why I have a starter set for the Hellish weapon and spear is because you can attain those blueprints in the early game. All right, once you get to Season of Conquest, you want to get the Khan's helmet and the Sacred Dominion, because now with the new update from, I think, a year ago, it's the same materials to forge them both, and you just get more stats. So you're willing to give up that counterattack on the 4-piece set to get a huge stat stick for the best set. So that's what you've got right there. So let's go in to see what those stats do. We already know this over here on the left. 26% attack, 14.5% defense, 51% health, and then down at the bottom, you add a little bit of health and a little bit of counterattack. Okay? Well, on the best set, here's what it gives you. All right? You're increasing your attack from the weapon. You're increasing that attack from the weapon to 32.5%. You're increasing the defense 5% for the Pride of the Khan helmet. Okay, so it's just better stats for the 2 KVK situations that you have for the helmet, the 2 KVK pieces of equipment for the helmet and the weapon. You still keep the 2-piece troop health bonus of 3%. So you're basically giving up 3% counterattack damage for 6.5% attack and 5% defense. That is wonderful. That's why we love it for the Cavs, and you're good to go. This is the absolute best set for cavalry that you can get. On the right, that's your absolute best set. That's what I run when I run cavalry garrisons and cavalry rallies. It's the absolute best you can get. But I started on the starter set, okay? And that's the way it worked. Now, we have all the sets laid out for the equipment. What do you do next? So let's talk just a little bit about how we tier this stuff up, okay? Let me pull these down. And then we're going to talk about this stuff for equipment. So no matter what piece of equipment it is, you're getting the same attributes. Now, we like the KVK stuff because it gives you more attributes over here on the right on your iconic levels, okay? Let me just come over here to this panel, because this will give you guys an idea. Over here, I've got level 5. Shattering Strike is great. But the number one thing you want to do, and this is just the straight truth when it comes to how do you tier up, what do you set yourself up for on tiering up your equipment, okay? You can see tier 4 is kind of where it's at for rallies and garrisons. You can see this tier 4, damage to troops on the map. That helps you in the field, that helps you in the garrison. It does not help you for the rally, but that's okay. Okay, if you're going to garrison cavalry, you want that 100%. Okay, on the weapon, it's the same thing here. Damage to troops on the map, 4% when that's critted. Once you get that to tier 4, okay, that's great for the field. It's great for your garrison. It's great for counter rallies. It is not good for rallying structures. Okay, I'm saying not good. It's just it doesn't provide you anything for rallying structures, but that's what you want to do. You want to get things at tier 4. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting, okay? Because we talked about this for cavalry. Damage to troops on the map, same thing for the chess piece. You want to get to level 4. Now, all of a sudden, your garrison starts cooking. But when you go to the greaves, here's where it gets fun. I'm sorry, not the greaves. When you go to the accessories, that's where it gets fun. On the greaves, it's the same thing. Damage to troops on the map. That's different for cavalry than it is for infantry and archers. So cavalry has a lot of this damage for troops on the map. I believe if you go to the boots, you don't have that. You just have march speed. And then if you go to the gloves, you don't have that for cavalry. You just have unit capacity, okay? So cavalry just gives you damage to troops on the map, okay? And that's why it's kind of good for garrisons, but cavalry is just a little bit behind when it comes to the rallies. Because if you go to archers, okay, this is where this is very important. Archers, you do damage to troops on the map for the weapon. Archers, you do damage to troops on the map for the helmet. And then archers for, you do, for archers, you do on the chess piece damage to rallied armies and garrisons. Not great for field, but this is great for your garrisons. This is exactly what you want for your garrisons and your rallies, okay? The same thing with the greaves on the archers, okay? You got these and damage to troops on the map, okay? And then we're also gonna look at how the leadership works for the greaves. Damages troop on the map. It's the same thing, okay? The boots are march speed. The chest is damage to rallied armies and garrisons, and that's the same thing for archers, okay? Damage to troops on the map. The chest is damage to rallied and garrisons, all right? And the greaves are damages to troops on the map. That's how it works. Infantry is different, okay? Infantry gives you more capabilities. Where is it at? Okay, you're going to do damage to troop on the maps, damage to troop on the maps, and then all of a sudden, your chess pieces for infantry give you damage. Let me see where the Hope Cloak is. Damage to rally armies and garrisons. That's for infantry. And for the greaves, damages to troops on the map. That is great. And then for the boots, you've got the march speed. So you want to, when it comes to tiering up your equipment. You want to get to tier 4 because that's where you start seeing the big benefit. Okay, and then tier 5, you can assess if you want to use Shattering Strike. That's great for an increase of skill damage or smite damage. Okay, that's always good for each one. Shattering Strike is good. You go to weapons. You have Furious Strike, which gives you all damage. That's good. But more than anything, you want to get all your equipment to tier 4 if you are a rally or garrison. That's what you want to do for all of your equipment on your best sets. Get it to tier 4, and that will do the best for you. Now, on the relics, on the accessories, this is where it gets a little crazy. They always have the rallied armies and garrisons here for the accessories. So you get those to tier 4 as well, and then you can start running Divine Might. A lot of people don't think the value of tiering up to level 5 is as important as getting all your equipment that affects your damage to troops on the map or rally to garrisons to tier 4. But that's what you want to do with your accessories, is eventually get them to tier 4. Okay, because a lot of people don't see that tier 5 is as good as getting, like, if you're saying, hey, I've got the prince, I can get my Divine Might to tier 5. Do I want to spend all those prints to do that? Or do I want to focus on getting my damage to troops on the map or damage to rallied armies and garrisons? Would I rather focus on that first? Damage to rallied armies or garrisons, tier 4. And people will tell you, focus on the damage to rallies and garrisons before you go to tier 5. But you can figure that out for yourself. The bottom line is we wanted to give you a good assessment of the gear, where your starter gear was for infantry, archers, and cavalry, okay, for rallies and garrisons, and then where your best gear is for infantry, archers, and cavalry. Okay, so hopefully that's enough information for you guys. That's what we do here. We give you real rock life experience. We want to give you that application, what works best. And I get this question asked all the time. So if you enjoyed this video, throw a thumbs up on it, subscribe to the channel, join my Discord. The link is in the description. Come hang out with us, and we can have more of these conversations on how this stuff works. It's your boy Chadsky, and until next time, you guys stay saucy, broskies.